Hello, good morning, and welcome to a brand new week on Jasiri. And of course, we're kicking it on a positive note because we've had time, throughout the weekend to rest. So today, definitely, we're full of energy. I hope your weekend was fantastic and it gave you the right amount of rest, gist, and maybe even a little bit of adventure. I know mine did. It's been a while, but, hence why I'm so excited right now. I don't know about the ladies.
I only have one answer.
Eventful.
Eventful.
Good morning, ladies, by the way. Good morning.
Dashen. Good morning. It's so good to see you ladies on Jasiri this morning. I'm just hoping that the week is a fruitful one.
A what?
A fruitful.
A fruitful one.
A fruitful, yeah. I hope the week, this coming week, this new week is fruitful, which is a week bearing fruits.
Okay, okay, all right. Well, obviously, one person is missing on the table today, and that's Lolo. She's away writing exams at the moment, so she will join us again very soon. You will see her, you will hear her, you will feel her, like we always do.
Yeah.
But just wanted to tell our wonderful audience that she's with us in spirit.
Yeah.
But whether you spent your weekend catching up on sleep or friends or catching vibes, welcome back to Jasiri, and inshallah, that's right. Welcome back to Jasiri, and we're unpacking some of the big stories and having the bold conversations that you will find here. Now, let's start with a quick update from a story we took on Friday's Hot Topic. Remember the Kwam saga? Well, the Fuji maestro has now come forward with an apology. After making all the headlines, he's now owning up and asking for understanding. Fuji legendary singer Wasiu Ayinde Marshal, popularly known as Kwam, has issued a full apology for the incident at the Nnamdi Azikiwe Airport in Abuja. He said the episode was unfortunate, and he insisted that his water-filled flask was wrongly labeled as alcohol. I don't know how you can label a water flask wrongly as alcohol, but he has expressed deep regret for it all. He's also extended apologies to the Presidency, the aviation authorities, ValueJet, and Nigerians at large. Here's a quick clip from the video.
Very many ways. Somebody like me should not be found in such incidents. I accept responsibility and appealing to Mr. President, the country, the Honorable Minister for Aviation, the FAAN, the NCAA, and my fans across the globe to please pardon my behavior. Number one, I passed through 2 checkposts and the content of my cup was screened. Need to say I have any content in the cup. Until I got to the lounge while awaiting the boarding of the aircraft, I pour water in it because of my health situation. I need to be sipping water because I'm dehydrated, as recommended by doctor to me.
So apparently he suffers from serious dehydration.
Well, okay. The NCAA has since referred the matter to the AGF and the IGP to determine the next steps of action, and we'll see how this story unfolds. But
I don't know if we have reactions to this.
I think we can react.
I think we started reacting.
I think we can react. Obviously, when someone that is quite notable and high up in society, falls short
of the glory of God.
And people begin to go back and, you don't think, right? You don't think in the moment that you would get the kind of backlash that he obviously got. Yeah. And now it's damage control.
Yes. And I'm asking the question, not taking, away from what you're saying, I'm asking the question, why wasn't this done instantly? You've realized that, as to say, shit has hit the fan. And we apologize for my Italian. But I'm saying that at this point, it occurred to you in hindsight that you could have handled this better? Probably because there's been calls from higher-ups. Probably there have been calls from people saying that, you know, you can't skirt around this issue. And correct me if I'm wrong, because when I was watching the video, I was thinking, when you pass through checkpoints, whether or, I don't know, there has to be, if there's any liquid in your container, you have to empty it.
Well, he said that there was nothing in his flask until he got to the business lounge, to the waiting lounge,
Yes.
and then asked for water to be put in his flask so that he can keep himself hydrated.
Well, another video surfaced, you know, it was like a hidden recording, you know, surfaced while he was speaking with the CEO of ValueJet, where he actually threatened them. So this actually came out after he apologized. Well, yes.
So you see where Bukky says damage control.
Damage control.
Yeah.
He didn't think, and I tell people, nowadays social media is real. Digital media, the space is real. And it's actively looking for things like this. And like they say, the internet never forgets. That video you're talking about, that has surfaced. How do you now want to debunk that after you've come out to apologize? And like I said, we said here on Friday, we have very Nigerian proclivities and idiosyncrasies that are us. So these things, whether we like it or not, they show themselves. Like bad odor, you can't hide.
So, whether he likes it or not, you know, being on the no-fly list will not serve him well.
It will not, because he's a performer.
Exactly.
He's got to travel.
So he has to travel internationally as well.
For me, at that point in time, if he had gotten ahead of the situation, but you see, I think it's that big manism here that came into play. If you had gotten ahead of the situation and said, oh, my bad, I apologize. Apology doesn't kill anybody. If you know you're in the wrong, and you were in the wrong, that video doesn't look good in any way, it doesn't flatter you, anything that you do, and it shows that you don't even have respect for the NCA, for the aviation industry as a whole.
So what happens now that he has apologized? Will he be forgiven? Because the same thing the minister said, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. If he will be forgiven, then I think the pilot and the captain should be forgiven as well.
Do you think he will be forgiven, though?
I don't know. We will find out. We will, or, as usually happens in Nigeria, the story will just die.
He has said
the
sorry.
story will die, and nobody will
empathetic.
hear anything about it.
Yeah.
But didn't something similar happen on a different airline?
It did,
Actually.
yeah, it did.
And, you know, where you feel like you are somebody and you have to prove that you are somebody, this time, though, I think there was a different reaction or response to it.
The same thing we talked about, you know, the last time we were here. Why wasn't he handcuffed, bundled into a car, or taken to an office and interrogated? The same thing that we talked about that did not happen during Kwam 1's incident happened during this particular lady's incident, even though we did see that, you know, she ended up hitting one of the hostess. We don't know what happened. We have no idea. That led to that. But we saw the number of security agents, you know, the AVSEC, personnel that were at the tarmac in that moment that came to bundle her out of the tarmac. So why didn't that was what we expected.
So just in case you're wondering what we're talking about, this is a clip that surfaced over the weekend, right? It's a flight on Ibom Airlines, and this passenger was unruly, and she began hitting the air hostess. And obviously, with the Kwam 1 issue that just happened, security obviously is, you know, people are now watching, and people are more proactive or reactive, as the case may be.
Why must we?
And this is what happened.
Like I said, maybe it will shock you. Probably she wanted to trend. I'm not saying, you know, nothing is impossible these days on the streets of social media. I keep saying, probably she wanted to trend. Probably she wanted to also feel important. Probably. There's so many perspectives you can look at this from. But I agree, like you're having this conversation on the table, this is what should have happened in the Kwam 1 case. But, like I said, maybe there's a movement, you know, an upward movement. If you're plotting that graph, there's an upward movement that, okay, what has happened with the Kwam 1, the artist, we cannot let happen elsewhere.
At least she waited to land before she decided to display.
You know,
I was saying anger issues all day. What's going on?
Kat, I was saying to Dashen, I said, I think one of the bigger things that we're not looking at, we're not seeing, is that people are almost at the crux or the brink of destruction.
Yo.
Whether it is self-destruction or mass destruction, I don't know.
Yeah.
But like we are tethering just on the edge, you know, just on the edge of, just somebody should just provoke you, just push me, just poke me once, and we are ready to erupt.
There's so much trauma we're walking around with. There's so much. I think we're walking on thin,
See, you know,
on thin line,
you have so many people, you know, calling her mentally unstable. Who is actually stable in Nigeria?
Nobody's stable in Nigeria.
How many mentally unstable people?
Many are mad, only few are wrong.
We've had mental health experts and therapists on the show, and it suffices to say that everyone needs a therapist on the streets, walking on the streets of Lagos. Because we
But
bear
even the
things.
therapists themselves
Need therapy.
They need therapy.
Because after they have unloaded on themselves, they need to unload on somebody else.
All right, so let's. All right, so listen, guys. While we're speaking of updates, who remembers Ray?
We all do.
Yeah.
The
But more
member.
importantly, where is Ray's NYSC certificate? So Lagos State Corps member Ushie Rita Uguamaye has had an NYSC certificate of national service withheld. She's made this revelation in a video she posted last week on her social media account, where she said that there was no forewarning or anything. She just showed up like every other Corps member to receive her certificate, but it was denied her. NYSC fifthly responded after the situation started going viral. They said she had missed the mandatory April biometric clearance, a disciplinary violation that triggered a standard 2-month service extension, to which is among 131 other Corps members affected. And the NYSC clarified that this is, in fact, a routine application of its protocol and not a retaliation for her outspoken political criticism. But trust that this is not a story that stands on its own. Let's take some reactions quickly before we head for a break. All right. This is a long one.
Yeah.
We urge President Tinubu to direct the Director General of the NYSC to immediately release Ms. Ushie's discharge certificate, withholding her certificate solely for the peaceful exercise of her right to freedom of expression is a blatant violation of Section 39 of the Constitution, and no one should ever be punished solely for peacefully exercising their human rights. I'm just summarizing it, so.
I think that the NYSC did respond, saying that her certificate was not withheld because she called Tinubu a horrible president, and that she's not the only one in that
says we
situation.
reject the NYSC's spurious position in its entirety. The Corps member Ushie Rita's case could not and should not be dismissed as a mere biometric clearance issue. It's not about paperwork. It wasn't about paperwork. It was punishment in retaliation for her public criticism of the president's disastrous economic policies. Silencing dissent is not service to the nation. It is service to tyranny. We stand with Ray and we continue to fight against the NYSC until the injustice is corrected. The NYSC should be ashamed of themselves. It's an absolute disgrace. Give Ray her certificate, okay? The statement issued by the management of the National Youth Service Corps on its decision to extend the service period and withhold the certificate of National Service of Corps member Ushie Rita, alias Ray, does not represent the truth of the matter. I have her instructions as her counsel to respond appropriately to the statement. History will vindicate the just. This is from Inidere Effiong.
Nigeria is an interesting country. And there are many things that can only happen in Nigeria. The issue of justice and justness is, I think there are labels that can be subjective. But anyway, it's some heavy stuff already, and we haven't even made it to our main conversation. But we'll put those updates to rest for now. I'm sure there will be more updates as we watch the case unfold. When we do come back, we will be having a conversation about something that is also very important, education, because it is the bedrock, isn't it, of the future generations. Joining us after the break will be Mojeed Alabi to unpack two major stories, the UNICAL dentistry students' crisis and the WAEC result reversal. Stick around, we'll be right back after this. Dashen, I think you have this.
Oh, well, welcome back, to Jasiri. Thank you, Bukky. And thank you for staying with us as well and watching us online. You can also use the hashtag Jasiri so we know that you are watching. Now, you can also catch up on all our episodes on YouTube. Just search for the Jasiri playlist on at News Central. And remember to also follow us across all social media. We are at News Central TV. Now, it's been a turbulent exam season in Nigeria. We all know that, first the JAM mishap earlier this year with technical glitches, results, recalls, and thousands of anxious candidates waiting for answers. And now, unfortunately, WAEC has walked the same road. Now, on August 4th, the 2025 WAEC results dropped and the numbers were grim. Only 38.32% of candidates had credit passes in 5 subjects, including English and maths. Within hours, outrage spread like wildfire. And I do remember Lolo talking about how her son also failed English, and he talked about how it wasn't possible as well. Now, then came the next blow. WAEC's results portal crashed, forcing an abrupt shutdown. Now, on the 8th of August, WAEC admitted that there had been a serious grading error traced to a wrong serialized code in its new anti-malpractice marking system. The revised results told a very different story, revealing a 62.96% pass rate. Relief for many, but also a big question mark over the credibility of our examination bodies and testing systems. So what exactly went wrong? Who is accountable? And can we trust the next exam cycle to be drama-free? Well, to help us unpack all of this, we're joined by Mojeed Alabi, team lead and EIC at Dev Reporting. Mojeed, it's great to have you back on Jasiri.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's a pleasure.
Hi, Mojeed. Welcome to the show. Every time we see Mojeed, we just know it's an education.
Yeah.
It's an education day. Today is an education Monday, and Mojeed, thank you for always
And you only bring me for
time.
negative.
No, we bring you to unpack the serious issues
No,
that we
I'm
know that you are passionate about.
Yes.
But you also give us the information, give out information that is important for people to hear.
It's unfortunate.
So, okay, Mojeed. Before we get into today's meet, I have to ask you, the last time you were here, we were discussing the UNICAL crisis among the medical students and dentistry students as well. Is there any updates, any possible light at the end of the tunnel for the students of the
UNICAL?
Yeah, dentistry students in UNICAL. And I think you've always had a close contact, or you've been in close communication also with the VC. So is there any updates regarding that, first of all, before we...
Yeah, thank you so much. The UNICAL case is another major challenge that has further exposed the kind of the disunity in our education system. There is no coordination. And I was at the National Universities Commission about a week ago or so. And as the chairman of Education Writers Association of Nigeria, we also took the matter up. And we had conversation with an official of NUC who represented the NUC Executive Secretary, that's Professor Abdullahi Ribadu. We had Ntebisong, Dr. Ntebisong, who actually told us that by virtue of what was approved by NUC, that is authorized by law to dictate, to accredit institutions, and to give quotas, that the University of Calabar did not make any mistake. But the MDCN that is claiming that there were errors, that they flouted their rules and things like that, that it is just a matter of the... that's what we could infer from the comment, that it is a problem of coordination. And what does that mean? That the university in itself was entitled to minimum of 50 because they already got to a faculty level. Before, they were part of the department, they were just a department under the medical college. But they soon got to the level of a faculty. and that every faculty that is accredited in any university, they have a minimum of 50 candidates assigned to them.
Minimum, not maximum.
Minimum
right.
of 50 candidates. But, you know, MDCN is saying, look, we assign you 12 to train. But NYSC is saying it is not possible to give any institution 12 students as a dental student. There are lecturers to teach them, except you say none at all.
Yes.
That you can, because you have a teaching hospital, a thriving one for that matter, you have that according to NYSC. But what we have seen in the whole of the situation is because there is this muscle flexing.
Yes.
Different bodies are trying to regulate a single system. And what NYSC is saying is this: though the minister has intervened, I'm aware about 2 or 3 meetings have been held. We were supposed to have the registrar of, because you know the funny thing about this thing is that the professional bodies that are visiting the institutions to do resource verification, accreditations, they are also members of the university system. Because if you look at MDCN, for instance, MDCN, the registrar is a lecturer in Uni Abuja. The chairman of the board of MDCN is the deputy vice chancellor, is a deputy vice chancellor at the University of Lagos. So if you go to another university, in one way or the other, it's the academics that are still fighting within the academics. But it is because there is no coordination by the authorities. How can you have Kwam? Kwam will go to university, ICANN will go to university, Nursing Council will go to university. Everybody is going to institutions to go and accredit, to go and do resource verification. Yes, it is very good. We must have handshake with the industry. But what NYSC is saying is that, look, what we are teaching, this is purely academics. They are not yet in the industry. And the question is this: we have candidates who are trained abroad, right? Students of Nigerian children trained abroad.
Yeah.
When you study law abroad, is it the responsibility of our regulatory bodies, of our professional bodies, to go and regulate the academic programs abroad?
No.
Definitely not. What you subject them to when they come is either you test them, you conduct whatever, then you allow them to be integrated into the system.
True.
So you come to law school in Nigeria because you have been trained abroad. Is it our responsibility to go and look at their... That is the argument on the table. So what they are now doing is that I think the minister, because the minister issued a memo in May, I think it was actually dated May 9th, saying the regulatory bodies must harmonize, cooperate with the NYSC, which is statutorily responsible for regulation of the institutions.
Yeah.
But one thing that is very clear is this: we also know that when NYSC goes for accreditation, a whole lot of things happen. Institutions borrow, exchange lecturers from one school to the other to go and do all this. So it's a challenge. Nobody trusts the system. And apart from that, when these students get into the industry, immediately they are done and they are incorporated into the system out there, they still don't meet up with certain new trends that are in the system. For instance, for ICANN, I have a brother who is an ICANN tutor, who has an ICANN class. And they tell you that what you study in school, probably based on antiquated curriculum. If the curriculum is not revised, I think the best solution, I know on the UNICAL, what they are trying to do now is that the minister has intervened, and NYSC told us that whatever the intervention, they promise that the minister will ensure that the students are not at the receiving end.
So now, like this, the children, the students, I'm taking Bukky's question.
The matter is being resolved. That is the promise. That's what we have. That the matter is being resolved. And what we are saying is that no student should be victimized.
Exactly.
Some of these students have spent 6-7 years on this campus. Some of them suffered COVID-19. Some of them suffered strike, industrial actions. So now, after that, you are now expecting them to move to other faculties. That will not happen.
But I think I was even saying, was it a matter of moving to other faculties? Didn't the provost say that they should either learn in
No, they have denied that.
Or they should...
they denied that. They said the student, they actually challenged the student to provide evidence that was actually said. And we have not gotten any evidence to confirm that, really.
So I think even the
students,
themselves, they don't mind, being converted to medicine. I think there were lots of them that actually came out to say that they don't mind being converted
because some of them actually wanted to do basic medical sciences.
Yes.
They pushed them to dentistry. So it is not that, yes, it is in the same faculty. They will do same courses up to a certain level. So if you are already in 600, if you say you push them to medicine, what happened? Because medicine itself has its own slot.
So
they will exceed the number. So they have their own quota as well. So the regulations are very good. It actually controls the manner. We like anyhowness in this country.
Yes.
So but the only thing is that we must harmonize.
Yeah.
The minister recognized about 7 professional bodies. Other professional bodies have said no. How can you recognize architectural whatever? You have recognized this, you have recognized this, you recognize nursing, you recognize pharmacy, you recognize... What happened to medical laboratory science?
Yeah.
They have their home body as well.
Yes.
What happened? And if you continue to recognize all of them, before you know it, you are going to have language accreditation body. You are going to have...
I think ultimately people want to know if, like parents want to know if their children are going to graduate. You can't do this 6 years.
We are being told that they will graduate.
So who is taking accountability? Sanctions for provost or parties involved?
No, where sanction cannot come in is this. You have conflicting regulatory bodies. You have conflicting directives. How will you blame the Vice Chancellor when I have NUC that is meant to be the regulatory body assigning me, this is what you should have? And this thing started as far back as 2013, not yesterday. So they have been having it all over. And now you are telling me that I'm going to be punished if they go beyond. What I think ought to have happened is MDCN going through NUC and saying, let's sit down. These are the things that we have seen.
Yeah.
And these are the things that should happen. I think those are things that no harmonization, that has been the major problem. Yeah. If they had said, look, these are the requirements that must be met before you can practice as a medical doctor in Nigeria. These are things that before you can graduate. I think those basic things can also be pushed before NUC. And once that is done...
All right. Well, I think the most important thing that you have said is, it will be sorted out, and that is what we're hoping for.
And the students will not be victimized.
Exactly. We have our ears to the ground to, find out what happens after this. So with that, we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll move on to the next topic of discussion. Please stay with us.
Welcome back to Jasiri. Now, when it comes to national exams, accuracy isn't just important, it is everything. This year, that accuracy has been tested like never before. In April, JAM was forced into damage control after a technical mishap sparked chaos and result recalls. Fast forward now to August, and WAEC has found itself in the same storm. What went wrong? What does this mean for thousands of students caught in the middle? And is Nigeria's exam system heading for a bigger credibility crisis? Well, Mojeed Alabi is still with us in the studio, and we are talking now about the WAEC situation. WAEC says that the initial poor results were caused by a glitch linked to their new anti-malpractice paper-serialisation system for the error. Is this a case of just poor technology rollout? Is it that we rushed things without proper testing, as we are wont to do? But let's look at some of the numbers, from 38.32% to 62.96%, which we mentioned before, in terms of the pass rate, right? And that's a huge jump. So doesn't this also call into question WAEC's credibility and reliability as an examination body? Big words, big English, but very simple answer.
Not just about WAEC. We are beginning to have integrity issues with our examination bodies.
Yes.
And me and you and all of us will likely suffer it, directly or indirectly. Like I said, I was here on Thursday, and I said, look, gone are the days when you just sit exam in Nigeria, SSE, they know it is WAEC, they respected it. There was that dignity.
Yes.
And once you want to seek admission abroad, you just tender your SSE because it's trusted. They believe it's good. And the next thing, you are offered admission. But that may no longer happen. It may no longer happen. And why I'm saying this is this. It's a global village now. When something happened in April, another thing happened in August. So what do you expect? You don't expect me, as somebody who wants to recruit, to now go. And this is coming at a time when Nigerians are advocating that high health should no longer be conducted, GRE should no longer be conducted, language tests should not be conducted for Nigerians who are seeking admission abroad or who want to go and do work abroad because they want to test their language, they are speaking, how they speak English, how much of the understanding they have about it. But with what we're having now, is that argument still going to be tenable? I doubt. So the challenge is that for all of us, and it is not about examination bodies. It's not about the government. It's the fault of all of us.
How so?
Oh, great. I've said it. By the time you realize what we should ask is what pushed WAEC to be running after technology to beat, to at least defend its own system.
Yeah.
WAEC is 74-year-old or thereabouts. It's been conducting examinations for the past for more than 70 years.
Oh, yes.
It has never been called to question.
Yeah.
WAEC is not conducting exams in Nigeria alone. WAEC conducts exams in Liberia,
West Africa,
in Sierra Leone, in the Gambia, in Ghana. So why is it different here? It is different here because Nigerians like to cut corners. And the system enables people to cheat. Yep. The parents, and they help people to cheat. It is in this country that a parent mobilized thugs to go and beat up a teacher because the teacher denied the student opportunity to cheat in an exam. Just this last UTM.
Wow.
So when you have such problems, you think the examination body, in fact, let MBTE come and conduct exam. Let JAM conduct. Let NECO conduct. There will still be glitch.
Well, this is actually a clear indication that, Nigeria is not, or WAEC and JAM is not ready for, they're not ready for CBT examinations. But then WAEC has actually come out to apologize, right? And but beyond that, do you think that there should be perhaps some sanctions, or independent investigation into, what is actually happening, and should it be stopped for now, pending when they get it right?
No, I think we have said this times without number. Nigeria seems to be running ahead of its time. We don't want to actually take, the problem. And until we go back to that problem, if we don't address the problem, there won't be solution. The problem, why do people want to pass at all cost? Do you understand? Answer me. People want to pass at all cost because there is so much reliability on paper qualification.
Yes.
Before I come here, you want to know which school. When I send you my profile, and I do not put it there that I'm so, you look at it, will this person be able to? We like titles.
Yes, we do.
We like positions. But the people now, they have seen. When you go to industries these days, they want to say, I have MBA here. I have MSc here. Can they do the work? They cannot. But the problem is that people who are applying to whether fire service, the one that is out there now, whether fire service or immigration or whatever, they know that all they need is just their paper. Nobody wants to test their capability, their capacity. Am I wrong?
No.
So anytime you continue to have that, there is so much craze for paper qualification. Yeah. As much as you have that, what people want is just pass at all cost. So if you want to pass at all cost, there will always be that pressure on our examination bodies. If you continue to have the pressure, 1.9 million candidates sitting exams across the country. Nigeria is just not, it's not Ghana, it's not Liberia. And that's why I pity the people who are in the system. You will blame WAEC, you will blame NECO, you will blame JAM, you will blame INEC. Because, no, you should ask, why do we continue to have this? The people who are in the system, they are corrupt.
Yeah.
The candidate they are conducting exam for, they are corrupt. Do you know that in Nigeria, we have rogue websites that are operating as syndicates? And they are known. So you arrest them today, they pay behind the scene, and they release them next day.
So I hear you, Mojeed, but we do need to speak to the fact that everybody, every country, whether it's a third world, whether it is developing, whether it is developed, technology is what is ruling the world right now. And we cannot run away from it. So I hear you when you say that Nigeria is moving ahead of its time. However, because it is a global village and because technology advancement, well, is supposed to make things easier, we are sort of moving along those lines. So when I ask the questions about whether this is, are we ready? Maybe the question is, are we ready for that technology?
Now
are we ready to be a technology-driven nation where, as you say, because the system allows, the system encourages, it supports the corruption, so to speak, you know, within itself. Are we ready for the technology?
In addition to that, are we ready for technology? If we are not ready, Mojeed, must we, if we go back to creating an interim system, how things work? Because whether we like it or not, you've said it on this table, a lot of people depend on that certification. Call it WAEC, call it SSCE, call it whatever. This drama never happens in smaller countries like Ghana, Liberia, and the other one is what now? Sierra Leone, and all the other West African, Anglophone West African countries. What is it that we should do? Two questions. Are we ready for tech? Because whether we like it or not, it is, we don't, if you like, wish that this cup will pass over us. It cannot pass over us. It is the era of technology. Now, if we are not ready for technology, what then,
do we need to put in place?
What future? What's going on with WAEC? Will it become something that becomes defunct or extinct?
Yeah, we like the quest to go CBT. The minister said no, every examination. It's part of what even led to the crisis that WAEC had, because the minister said by next year everybody must go to CBT. But the questions we should ask is this: do you just jump into CBT?
Very important.
What happens to the infrastructure that you need? Abroad, where they use CBT, our minister is from America, so he's welcome. I think he's a medical doctor and he's been based abroad, so he's welcome to the realities in Nigeria. Yeah, the peculiarities of our case is something that you should know. There is something that you need to talk about: penetration, internet penetration.
Yes, sir.
How much of our cities, how much of our villages have access to internet? We are talking about power sources. We have been on this conversation long ago. Ralph Aregbesola became governor of Osun State in 2010. Yes, November 2010. And during his first time also, he started Okwaimo. And we were part of those who said, yes, Okwaimo is good. But we are not in Lagos.
I was there for the Okwaimo launch.
So I was there in Ilesha.
Yes.
And I said, look, we had, even before the launch, we had the opportunity to interact with the deputy governor of Osun State, who was in charge of the education at that time. And we thought, look, it is good, but we know these schools. These schools don't even have seats. These schools don't even have roofs. These schools don't even have electricity, whether it is solar powered or from the national grid. So how do you want them to jump into the use of tab? Where would they charge the tab where you charge it for them? So then our own children, how much do you think they know of these facilities? How to break? You know, Nigerians are very creative, but we use our creativity in the negative way.
First of all,
whatever you give them, they want to see how they can import things to it. So that's why we say that don't let us place the cart before the horse. Let's begin by checking the infrastructure necessary. Let's begin by checking the capacity, the skill of the people that are meant to teach. If you are talking about CBT, CBT is not creative. A lecturer just sent to me now, he said, we conduct the exam. In heart, it is not about A, B, or C, or D. We want to test the creativity of the students. You have the theories. You have the practicals. How much are you going to use CBT to do this? The CBT can only do less than 15% of what WAEC will do. Objective, right? Or you use screen, and this person is reading. What you are using, and that was why they came up with the serialization. that the exam you are sitting is not the same thing that this person is sitting.
Yeah.
You understand? That's the idea of the serialization.
Right.
The one that you are doing is different. You are taking the same exam,
yes,
but so that when you are asking, because they realize that the rogue website operators, immediately they have access to one question. The next thing they do is that they download and they settle and they start because of technology. It is this same technology that is destroying. Are we using the same technology to advance the courses the way other people are doing it? We always think of the negative to use of the tools. So we must first identify the issues, the challenge with the technology, internet availability,
Yes.
power sources, knowledge of these things. Do we have the knowledge? That's why we continue to run into troubles. We want to use things. The people. It is not about WAEC officials alone.
Yeah.
How many workers does WAEC have?
Yeah.
There are going to be external people that are going to be imported to support staff. Do they have the understanding? Can you teach them within just 1 or 2 weeks to the exam? That's the same problem we had with INEC now. You are going to have ad hoc staff who will just be carried and say, come and learn this thing in 1 minute, and they will be able to hold what do you call it, card reader. They can't even use it.
Okay, hold that thought, Mojeed. Let's take a final break from here. When we return from the break, we'll be on the home stretch of Jasiri. It's an education Monday, guys. Stay with us. All right, welcome back to the home stretch of Jasiri for today. It's been an Education Monday, and we've been breaking down WAEC's dramatic results saga with Mojeed Alabi. We went from shock to confusion to a complete turnaround in 4 days. So we've talked about figures. Now, let's get into the real issues behind this. Let's take a look at admission processes for students who miss deadlines and all of that because of the song and dance from WAEC. Is there any recourse what they can do? Can universities be compelled to extend deadlines now? Because, obviously it's a ripple effect. From you say, oh, this is the result. Oh dear, it's not the result. We'll do the correct result. We'll release the correct results. All that one. So there's a ripple effect of extension of, and students, whether we like it or not, we have very zealous students who want to go into tertiary institution. And every parent is worried. Maybe they've missed the deadline or... So should deadlines be extended for this reason?
No, ordinarily, before you sit your Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination, which is the major exams that take students to the tertiary institutions in Nigeria, you are expected to have your SSCE ready. But they also give room for those who use awaiting results. So those awaiting results, because the exam head before the SSCE is out. And that is why the examination bodies, both JAMB, NECO, WAEC, they always meet to arrive at some logical conclusions on when is your exam coming, how do we make sure that no clashes and things like that. So admission processes, they have been ongoing. There are schools that are already on, but you are meant to, as soon as you have your result, you can still upload to some of these, in fact, many of the institutions, because some of them are in the process of conducting their second semester, they are completing the session now. Yeah. So what it means is that they still have the opportunity. But the major challenge that we need to identify with this crisis with WAEC is that you will recall that some students had actually checked and saw their results before the new result was, before they suspended the process and now already released results. Now, after the review, immediately some of the candidates checked their results because JAMB has what is called Central Admission Processing System, CAPS. You are meant to upload your SSCE as soon as you have it. Because what you put there before is awaiting results.
Yes.
That I'm waiting for my result.
Definitely.
If your result now comes, you are meant to upload immediately.
Yeah.
And there is a process. So those who got their results immediately went online to upload. Before WAEC said, calm down.
It's not the correct one.
The ones that you checked, not correct, you come back. Now the challenge is this. If you have uploaded before and your portal has been
closed,
is there a room for you to edit what you uploaded? With the new result, check again. You understand what I'm saying?
I understand what you're saying.
So those are the
Clearly.
issues that we should tackle. And what we will be pleading with is that JAMB will have to come up to say, look, we agree because the system is made by man. So there must always be some kind of flexibility.
Yes.
So if you say, yes, we agree that you have uploaded before, and it is genuine that your result was changed, it's a national thing. I think what JAMB can do is to say,
is to give room
for editing processes and say, this was my first result gotten. No, this is my new result that have been, so they can upload. Apart from that, I think where we should also concentrate our efforts here is to ensure that as stakeholders, we create platforms for some of these individuals that are concerned to come together. The minister must be able to realize that the pressure on paper qualification is leading our examination body. There is something that they are doing that is good now, is to actually, it will help to lessen the pressure on our examination bodies, and that is the TVET program. The technical vocational education system that the minister is so passionate about, and that's why they agree that they are going to be giving even any child that opts for technical education, even those who are already in the vocational whatever, they can enroll and they are going to pay for their stuff, and they will still be paying, they will still be paid stipends to support them. Until we have that, there must be, and that is what we should allow people to know. Most of the guys who are here, like I always say, we are running an inverted pyramid system of education. Our system is an inverted one. You have more engineers than technicians in Nigeria. Everybody is holding certificate. This is my PhD. PhD is, how do they say it in the street parlance? They say, now water now. So some of us who don't have, we are not even
bothered.
The reason is that it is not about the PhD that you hold. And you know the problem. Most of the people who now hold PhD, who hold 2 masters, 3 masters degree, they say, I'm an engineer, I'm a professional this, I'm this. By the time they gain employment into that real work, the people that are coming to supervise them, they are who? These are technicians from Malaysia, technicians from India, from China. Because over there, it is not about certificate.
No.
What they want is your skill.
But how do we gravitate? See, we've had this conversation before, Mojeed, we've said so. Tertiary institutions and university, we are very big on paper. Definitely, you will come back again on the show. But before then, I'm going to quickly steal Bukky's question. Next year, WAEC plans to go CBT, computer-based, that's what they say, computer-based testing, by 2026. That's next year. So given our infrastructural challenge, are we ready? Is this going to set up for more chaos quickly? I mean, before...
They use CBT this year, too.
Mojeed, you have 30 seconds to answer.
They have exams. Some of them use CBT this year. So they use CBT this year. But it's very clear. We have said it. Internet-wise, we are not there. Infrastructure-wise, how many schools even have computers? How many children have even seen computer in their schools before? Apart from these private schools that you see.
So we should just stick to writing.
No, I think that's what the minister should be able to know.
One other thing, should WAEC be subject to independent audit of its result releases?
I think it's possible. It is important because all of us, accountability is key. Transparency is key. Apart from WAEC sending results out, I've taken some fights for some students. Ogudu Grammar School there was a time their results were completely off the site. And some of these students were in South Africa, some were in Saudi Arabia, in UNICAL, in different universities. And at the point, even in 400 or 500 level, at the point of result verification, they discovered that the results were no longer there. And I took the matter up. It took us about series. I think I was in National Mirror at the time, the defunct National Mirror, and we had about 6 series of reports looking at the legality, looking at the possibility.
How did that work out?
So we resolved it, and when they set up their in-house panel and they found out that they hacked the system, probably something happened, the result was returned. In fact, one of the victims then He's rounding off his PhD in the US and he's coming.
Mojeed is always a pleasure to have him on Jasiri, and there's never enough time. So I think that we do need to have you back.
We'll be talking technical education,
more conversations around education and where we go from here as a country. But that is where we have to wrap it up today on Jasiri. We'll be back again tomorrow with more bold, unapologetic conversations. So please stay informed, stay engaged, and as always, stay Jasiri.